반짝이는 눈빛 눈이 부셔 매일 날 감싸주는 손길.
Once, Jang Mie had come to Go Jadong to apologize for her past actions. At the time, she addressed him as Oppa, a term of affection that indicated they had once shared a deep bond. Though their relationship had since deteriorated, it was clear that they had once been close. However, as the pieces of their lives began to fall into place, things didn't seem to make sense. How could someone as wicked as Dong Seok have such a pure-hearted daughter like Sari? The more Go Jadong thought about it, the more it became apparent that Sari was hiding something that, until then, had been a well-guarded secret. Truth came to light one fateful day when Sari overheard a conversation in Dong Seok's room. She learned that Dong Seok and Jang Mie had stolen money from the Eagle Brewery. The shock of the revelation overwhelmed her, and in a daze, she fled. She drove recklessly, her heart pounding as she raced through the streets, feeling as if something was chasing her. Her hands shook on the steering wheel and her vision blurred from the tears threatening to spill. But as her emotions spiraled, she lost control of the car. The crash alerted the staff inside the brewery and they rushed to the windows in panic. Ma Gwang Suk's voice rang out, filled with urgency as she called for help. Soon after, O Jang Su and Go Jadong arrived at the scene. When they opened the car door, they found Sari unconscious, her face pale and lifeless. Without hesitation, Go Jadong lifted her into his arms, determined to get her help. At the hospital, the medical staff quickly rushed Sari in for treatment. But when they checked her blood type, they found something alarming. Sari had a rare blood type and there was no immediate match available for a transfusion. Panic began to rise. Then, in a moment of realization, Go Jadong's eyes widened. He had the same rare blood type. Without a second thought, he offered himself as a donor. As the night wore on, Jang Mie arrived at the hospital, her eyes swollen from crying. She approached Go Jadong, her voice trembling with emotion. When she saw him, her head lowered in guilt. Go Jadong, his heart heavy with confusion, finally asked her what had been troubling him. He had discovered that Sari shared his blood type and he demanded answers. Jang Mie, her face stricken with regret, finally revealed the truth. Sari, she confessed, was his daughter. Go Jadong stood frozen, the truth sinking in with a deep, painful realization. He had never known that Sari was his daughter. Days later, Go Jadong and Sari underwent a DNA test to confirm the truth, and the results were undeniable. Sari was indeed his daughter, but the revelation didn't end there. Go Jadong, still in shock, went to confront Dong Seok with the test results. He handed over the envelope containing the evidence and Dong Seok, indifferent at first, opened it. But when he saw the confirmation of Sari's parentage, he was struck by the enormity of it. His hands trembled as he processed the information and slowly he sank into a chair. He felt as if all the strength had drained from his body. The truth he had tried so hard to avoid was now clear. He had spent so many years thinking Sari was his daughter, only to discover that he had been wrong. Overcome with guilt and regret, he dropped his head and whispered to himself that he deserved whatever punishment he was now facing.
'Cause you are beautiful, a beautiful stranger.